COVID anxiety disorder. That's what we're talking about today. Hello everyone, my name is Autumn Masvidal and I am a coach to help you live your true life, be your true authentic self, and realize that there's much more to the world than you are aware of. So today we're talking about COVID anxiety disorder. So if you know someone who has this condition or you have it as well and are so deathly afraid, then please listen to this information and be mindful and be aware of what's actually happening in the world. COVID anxiety disorder is the extreme fear of a pathogen known as SARS-CoV-2. It is invisible to the eye, primarily affects the elderly, and has dominated mainstream media in 2020 and 2021, and likely the years to come. It has been politicized and propagandized, with science being weaponized to force preventative measures such as masks and vaccines, as the public are incentivized, coerced, and even threatened to undergo medical procedures. Symptoms of COVID anxiety disorder include the consumption of fake news propaganda, irrational fears that everyone around the individual is a carrier, even when not sick, that a virus can spread without symptoms, viewing people who are healthy as threats, avoiding others at all costs due to intense fear, obsessive-compulsive hygiene and mask wearing, even when alone, such as in the car or when eating. Other symptoms, especially found in children, include the intense fear of taking off the mask around other people and being scared of the human face, nose, and mouth. 2020 was when it all started in the world, and many people became so divided over this subject. Now, many people started to become so scared of something that they could not even see, that they may not have even had any sort of symptoms or any sort of problems with. But people became so terrified of other people, healthy people around them. I myself, I would even say, I would go to a park in the nice, fresh air, sun was beating down, and you see people covering their face. You see people avoiding you on the hiking trail. And it's so sad that people have been so brainwashed by the news media to think that breathing clean air outdoors is harmful to you, that avoiding your fellow human beings who are perfectly healthy is that other human beings are a threat. It's such a sad thing, but that is what was caused during this whole thing here. The news media has caused this COVID anxiety disorder. Many people are so afraid. COVID anxiety disorder is not a natural phenomenon, but rather manufactured by the news media, politicians, and the government to put people into a state of fear to control them. When you live in a state of fear, you are more easily controlled. They are fully aware of this and manipulate you by controlling the narrative, propagandizing the news media, and weaponizing science. Hence why those who consume alternative or no media were not afraid, as they either got the true facts or simply didn't hear anything at all. Many people are now struggling with the condition and may never return to a normal life without an intense fear that something they cannot see will jump out at them and kill them. Those who are younger ultimately will have the hardest time with this. Kids are now conditioned, fearful around those without a mask, or even fallen in love with their mask and see it as a necessary accessory like clothing. This is truly saddening, and there is nothing normal about it. A child and baby needs to see the smiling faces of others, needs to play with their friends, and should not be tracked, controlled, and surveilled to see if they have contagious disease with no symptoms. If you or someone you know is struggling with COVID anxiety disorder, please listen closely. As with any other anxiety disorder, there is intense fear of what may happen. The person creates what-if scenarios in their mind, depicting the worst possible outcome. These things prevent the individual from living a healthy life and having healthy communication skills with their peers. COVID anxiety disorder also has another aspect, the intense fear of germs, or mysophobia or germophobia. These people think threatening germs are all around them and will kill them if they come into contact with it. Since viruses and bacteria are invisible to the human eye, this creates an intense fear of what the person thinks there is. I'm sure we've all encountered someone over the past year who is walking towards us, only to swerve out of our way, or put up their mask before walking by us, yet are oblivious to the fact that their hands are loaded with bacteria and are touching the mask where it sits, collects, and develops into even more harmful bacteria. The number one way of breaking free from COVID anxiety disorder is to turn off the television and internet. Stop going onto news sites that instill fear within you, and stop using social media where propaganda is prioritized. Go out into nature and enjoy life. You were made to be happy, not live in fear. So turn off the nonsense and realize what life is actually about. Being a healthy, natural human being who is free. If you are going to consume any news media, do so from independent sources that look at the raw data, analyze it, and not funded by the pharmaceutical industry. Every news source has a bias, so realize what the bias is and watch any news source with an open mind and do your own research and critical thinking. If you begin to feel uneasy or fearful while watching any news source, take a deep breath and a break from it, since that's the tactic they use to alter your thinking and beliefs to make you do things you want to do in a calm and collected frame of mind. Don't be coerced into doing things just because someone else is shaming you or calling you selfish for not doing what they want you to do. Be strong during this tough time and you'll come out in good standing in the end. Be wise and you'll make it out on top and be informed. No matter what anyone may call you, be you and stand by your beliefs and recognize which are yours and which have been implanted within you with fear by the news media, politicians, and the government. Let me know how this works for you. Have a great day. So COVID anxiety disorder is essentially this intense fear of this virus that everyone else around the person is carrying it. Everyone else is going to make them sick and die. Now, while the chances of that are practically zero, many people are still going to be terrified to death. They are still going to avoid any sort of human contact, and it's a sad thing. It really is. But we must remember that this anxiety type of disorder combines anxiety, it combines obsessive compulsive type of behavior with germophobia. There's many aspects to this, but we must realize that in order for us to push through this, we have to step out of our comfort zone. If we are terrified of something, we have to get the facts and realize that this should not be a problem for you. You should be a free human being. You should be able to express yourself and be free, however it is that you wish to do. So ultimately, if this is affecting you, if this is affecting your children in some sort of way, be happy, be healthy, and move beyond this. Don't be living your life in fear. Go outside, get some fresh air, and be positive, be happy, be healthy, and connect with your fellow human beings who are not a threat to you. So let me know what you thought of this topic here. I'm really curious to know your thoughts on this. I know people are much divided on this subject matter. So I'm really curious to know your thoughts specifically on this type of topic. I know I have many viewers that are also very conflicted about this as well. As we've talked about, we have many people on both sides of the aisle. So I'm really curious to know what your thoughts are, because you have every right to express them, even if you don't agree with me, or even if you do agree with me. So be sure to check out the amazing merchandise over at Asphodel Shop. You all take care, have a great one, and I will catch you all again very soon.